and hit the start button for me, please? That's good. All right, thanks.
All right, Jake, so tell us a little bit about your experience and credentials that qualify you to be the Operations Safe Students Director.
Okay, well,
Say that one more time, please.
Okay, Jake, so what exactly are your credentials that qualify you to be the Operations Safe Student Director?
well, I have a history with the military. I was a commissioned officer in the U.S. Army in the infantry branch, and I have a lot of training in anti-terrorism, and I led a platoon into Afghanistan. I've been deployed to Afghanistan 3 times. I did 2 tours as a security consultant and a security contractor for companies that were building on the border of Pakistan. And what I did was I would go around to different battle spaces that we had with the U.S. military, and I would assess the risk and do threat assessments. So are there vulnerabilities here? How can we harden the targets? How can we keep our contractors and our soldiers safe? And so I would make recommendations as a security consultant to those firms. When I was in the military, I basically did infantry style tactics and training. I trained soldiers to go to war, and we went to war, and we did every mission that we were involved in had some sort of threat assessment, risk assessment type things that we had to consider.
All right. So tell me a little bit about how you came up with the idea for Operations Safe Students. How was that idea born?
Give it a second.
So,
Before you answer,
okay,
I just gotta do,
sure.
if the light's changing, I'm trying to get in between.
Also, Jake, just relax. You have a little bit of on-mitis.
Yeah, I'm
So,
Amitis.
it's your life,
Dang it.
your idea, your vision.
Okay.
There's no reason to be nervous.
Yeah, that's why it's.
And I know, it's your idea, it's your vision, it's your project. Like, no one knows it better than you, no one has more authority to speak about it than you do. There's no need for there's no need for being excited, okay?
2 very attractive women staring at me at the same time kind of puts the pressure on a little bit too.
Don't worry about it.
Surely he's been under worse.
We're trying to encourage.
Different types of pressure.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
I want to get this evened out
Yeah.
where it's not giving me what it's giving me right now.
So did we catch that, the first part,
Yeah.
or do we have to do that over again?
No, it's okay. You're
Okay.
gonna want to do it over anyway.
Yeah.
There was,
Because you're just
'Cause I-
getting comfortable.
Okay.
It's like I was a military contractor, and we I mean it's fine. Everyone stumbles through the first couple times. It's just,
Well, I'm just worried that.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We'll see
I'm
if
sorry.
another office available. Don't worry.
Okay.
Can,
We're gonna work out.
I need a grip.
so what do we need to happen? I tend to have can figure out ways to tweak things. Is there anything that needs to raised, or is it just shifting
No,
with the
I'm
sun
good.
going down? Okay.
Just shifting with the sun going down. So this face doesn't look all pasty. And I can fix pasty. Okay, go.
All right. So Jake, how?
Take 3.
All right, Jake. So how did you come up with the idea for Operation Safe Students?
Well, I was approached by a friend of mine to write a response plan for an active shooter situation for Coronado, California. It's a small town. There's a heavy military presence there, and so the mayor and some other people were concerned about having a response plan for their city. So I basically consulted with them and helped them write a plan, and they put it into their emergency response plans, SOPs, and they trained it, and we coordinated with all the EMS agencies, fire, police, and we were able to implement the entire plan and train the plan. And then it occurred to me that the training is for a response plan, and for the firemen and the police to get together in the schools to train to respond to a situation. And there was a big gap there in terms of a preventative solution to this problem of active shooters in schools. It occurred to me that it would be better to train teachers and faculty members and parents how to identify signs and symptoms of somebody who's planning an attack. More of a preventative measure rather than what everybody else is doing right now is a kind of a reactive measure to this problem.
So you want to be proactive instead of reactive?
Yes.
All right. So if you could again tell us a little bit about your credentials and what qualifies you to be the Director of Operations Safe Students.
Sure. I was commissioned in the U.S. Army in the infantry branch to be in the Army. I was a commissioned officer in the U.S. Army in the infantry branch, so I basically trained soldiers for war, and I took them to Afghanistan. And I did 14 months in Afghanistan on the eastern border in a region right next to Pakistan where there's a lot of heavy fighting. And after my tour there, I got a job working for a firm that did a lot of building in regions of Afghanistan, and they needed a security consultant. So I got into security consulting, and I had several more deployments as a security advisor in combat. And basically what I did was I would go around doing threat assessments and advising military units and contractors on how to get people and things from point A to point B without getting killed or shot or harmed.
All right. So
Does that answer?
It is.
Okay. It might